All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to Sterling and Dell Technologies Data Protection PowerProtect Backup Service demo. I'm Mindy Schweitzer, Director of Marketing here at Sterling. We know your time is valuable, so we want to thank you for choosing to spend a portion of your day with Sterling and Dell Technologies. Before we dive into the demo, I just want to give a brief overview of Sterling's capabilities. If you could go to the next slide, please, Gavin. Sterling is a technology solution provider who offers secured customized solutions for all client-to-cloud needs. We serve on multiple federal and state and local government contracts and support all industry verticals. Security is extremely important at Sterling, so we have a robust secure supply chain, including OTIPs and CMMC certifications. For any questions about Sterling, please use the email aliases that you'll find at the end of the demo. And for any questions during the demo, please put them in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we will address them at the end. Now I'll turn it over to Gavin Wright and Ken Voigt to demonstrate Dell Technologies Data Protection PowerProtect Backup Service.
Excellent. Thank you, Mindy. Appreciate you and your team giving us some time today to go over this great new product called Dell EMC's PowerProtect Backup Service. I'm going to go through a quick slide deck presentation. It's probably 3 or 4 slides, just give you an idea of what this is. But the bulk of the time we're going to spend is with my colleague from our GTO office, Ken Voigt, who will be walking through a live demo of how this service operates, give you an idea of kind of the click-throughs, what you can do and what you can't do throughout the entire service. So without much moving forward, give you a quick idea. So on May 18th, Dell Technologies launched the Dell EMC PowerProtect Backup Service. This is a SaaS-based backup service offering protecting SaaS application endpoints and, of course, our hybrid workloads as well. Why did we decide to do this? As you might know, Dell Technologies data protection team is very well known for their on-prem enterprise grade storage that we have available for our customers. What we have done is kind of looked at the market and saw an availability and more customers asking for more SaaS-based solutions on a subscription basis for backing up some of these workloads. Specifically, why they're looking for it is, there's really no infrastructure to manage when you go with a SaaS-based offering. You just pay your yearly fee, you get your service, you don't have to worry about managing any of that infrastructure. Additionally, it's a very simple thing to manage. You log into an HTML, Ken will show you in a minute. You log into a website, it's just an HTML interface. You log in, you're able to see everything online from anywhere. And lastly, the leverage of the cloud security, of course, data privacy, as we mentioned before. So this is a really interesting offering. A lot of times, historically, when you're looking to do a backup recovery archive deployment within a data center, it took a long time. You had to procure the hardware. You had to get it and had to have it delivered to your on-site, brought into your data center, set up, rack, stack, burn in. Maybe services come out to configure things properly. Make sure you're backing up the right workloads in the right environments. That's a long time from procurement all the way to deployment and execution in your production environment. With SaaS-based offerings, you're really given the ability to get up and running in almost 15 minutes. Once you get your license key, once you get your availability, you log into your HTML portal and you start provisioning your services accordingly. The other great thing about it is it really, the automation of the upgrades and features is very easy. Historically, when you had to upgrade your hardware that's on-prem, you really have to bring the service down, maybe put out a notice saying, hey, we're bringing something down for service over the weekend. Make the upgrade, hope everything goes right, and then you're up and running through your service. With a SaaS-based offering, everything's done in the background. It's seamless. You don't even notice it's going on. So you're always kept up to date on the latest features, but also on the latest security that's available. Another great part is that global client-side deduplication. When we're talking about SaaS offerings, what we really need to keep focused on is moving as little data across the wire as possible to our customers. So as we have data residing on laptops or in your data center, you're backing up to the cloud, you want to make sure you're moving as little data as possible so it takes as short amount of time as possible and you're storing as little possible in the cloud. And lastly, end-to-end security. As we built this into our federal government customers, we made sure that we had FIPS compliant, but more importantly, that it's FedRAMP certified as well. So to go over some of the specific offerings within PowerProtect Backup Service, we've really broke it down into 3 separate offerings. First covers the SaaS applications, Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, and Salesforce.com. Obviously, a number of our federal customers are really most interested in the Microsoft 365 offering. You might actually think to yourself, well, it's in the cloud already, isn't the data protected? And if you look at those agreements that they have in place, what these organizations provide is uptime and availability of their service. What they don't provide is the data resiliency or the backing up of the data. The data ownership always will fall to the end user or the end contract holder. So if a file is deleted or a file is removed for any reason at all, the ability to get that file back is purely up to the end user at that point. The next flavor that we're offering is called endpoints. And what we're really talking about is backing up all those laptops, desktops, and mobile devices that have been deployed throughout the environment. A lot of times, agency will decide, hey, there's a lot of data now residing on our endpoint positions. How do we make sure we're bringing that data back down and protecting that data for our end users? As we've moved to this more work from home environment, we see the mass proliferation of these devices throughout the entire workspace. So being able to protect that data and having the customers recover data on their own from their laptops directly is vitally important. So being able to back up that data, and a lot of times people don't want to do that by deploying an agent and deploying a new on-prem solution. Instead, if they can deploy something that's done within the cloud, that makes things a lot easier. And lastly is the hybrid workloads. As we have more customers looking to say, hey, we have these new environments, we want to back them up, especially out in remote areas or branch offices, the ability to back up straight up the cloud is becoming more and more of a necessity as well. So without any more, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to hand this over to Ken so you guys can get a live look and a live demonstration on exactly how this is going to work. Ken, you want to take it from here?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right, thank you very much. Everybody see my desktop okay?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much. Again, my name is Ken Voigt. I'm a systems engineer out of Dell EMC's Global Technology Office, and this is just a quick introduction to PowerProtect Backup Service. As we mentioned to you guys, this is all SaaS-based, so it's nothing to install from an infrastructure perspective, no power, no cooling. It's basically a subscription. It's basically hosted in AWS, and it provides you with a great deal of capability from a backup perspective. Along the lines of what we were just discussing, it really comes in two different modules, right? So when you first log in, you have this main console. So you get the same look and feel. It's a single console, single pane of glass into all the different types of workloads that you can protect. And then from here, you can go and protect different environments. So over on the left-hand side here, we have what we call InSync. That's a module, right? And then within InSync, I have the ability to protect endpoints. That's like laptop, desktop, Androids, iPhones. And then I have the SaaS applications. That's Microsoft Office 365, Google Workspace, Salesforce. There's some other Box, and there's some other SaaS-based applications that we protect, but they're not turned on in this particular subscription. So that's kind of like what InSync is. We'll go into each one of these in more detail. InSync also provides governance. So if related to your SaaS applications, the ability to do things like automated compliance, e-discovery and search, federated search across all your assets for, let's say, an employee's name or something like that, so you can then apply legal hold. So it does have data governance capabilities as well for those SaaS-based applications. And then we have what we call, moving over here to the right-hand side, is hybrid workloads. This is the module we call Phoenix, okay? Hybrid workloads are more or less workloads that are on-prem. They could be workloads that are running in the cloud, like Azure or some other cloud provider. They're agent-based. We have modules or proxies that we can deploy for file server protection, the NetApps, the Isilons, anything that's just basically SMB, NAS, CIFS. Microsoft SQL, Oracle. We also have Windows file servers. So if you have a file server that you need to protect, we have an agent for that as well. VMware workloads. So if you have a remote office somewhere, rather than doing a backup locally and moving it across the wire, we can protect your virtual machines in a remote office environment. Kind of the smaller workloads. It's not something for 50,000 virtual machines, but certainly if you have a smaller environment, we can certainly handle that. When we back up, we do compress, encrypt, and deduplicate the data. So it is very efficient from a WAN utilization perspective. Hyper-V environments, these are NAS, VMware, and Hyper-V are all proxy-based. So you install a proxy agent on a server, either inside the virtual machine, virtual environment, or on a physical machine, and that becomes the data mover for all the backups. And then we have disaster recovery, which is the ability for VMware workloads to be able to use the cloud for disaster recovery. So if you have a disaster, you can recover your virtual machines in the cloud, right? So it's very, very capable from a backup perspective. And as you can see, it's very easy to use. In addition to from the console here, I can drill down into any one of these areas right from the main console. So I can come down into here, take a look at the endpoint protection. And if you look at, across the top here, we talk about availability, backup, restore. So you do ad hoc backups, you can restores, you do governance. So you can create audit trails for changes that have been made. Maybe something's been deleted. Data loss prevention, federated search, legal hold, and automated compliance. The legal hold is really for litigation type situations. Automated compliance is like you're constantly looking at data that's just coming in to make sure that there's nothing in there that's offensive, or social security numbers, or telephone numbers, employee IDs, all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that it's being locked down, right? So you're constantly monitoring the data that's coming in. These are users that are defined in the environment that can do self-service. They're also configured for backup. Data sources, I have devices. So in this case here, I can back up. I got a couple things configured. I got laptops configured, iPhones, and what else we have here? This looks like 2 iPhones that we have configured. Also a Linux laptop as well. That's where your devices come into play. Then we have Office 365. So we have a lot of different workloads that are protected in Office 365. That's Exchange Online, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. And again, when you talk about the governance, it's across all those. It's not just for looking at emails. It's not legal hold for emails. It's legal hold for the entire Office 365 suite. And then we have profiles that you can create for each individual user. Say if you have when you configure a user, it'll automatically go to default. So there's a default profile. That's basically where all your basic your backup retentions are defined, accessibility to the data, whether the user is self-service capable, what your devices are, how they're being configured, how they're being retained, and your cloud apps. Again, how they're being retained, and what type of data is being protected. So that's the profile. So then once you have a profile that's created, and again, everything, all the users, when they get configured, go into default. But if you have a particular user, like an executive or a mailbox that is, sensitive for long-term retention, you can come in here, select your user, edit that user, and then assign a custom profile to that user. For instance, this particular user has his own profile set up, so he has a different retention period for his apps that he's backing up. So we also have reporting capability built in, so you can subscribe to any one of these reports that you want just by subscribing to those. You can download those. You can schedule an email, and then that's for your reporting capability. So that gets something that gets kicked off let's say every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, you get a report in your mailbox. And we also have alerting capability. So this is real-time alerting. So if you wanted to set up alerts and subscribe to any alerts that are being generated, you can come in here and say, yeah, I want to have this particular alert. I want to have it. You can edit the alert and have alerts sent out to you on real time. So if there's a failure of a particular server that fails, you want to know about it right away, then you can have that alert set up. So that's the InSync module. Again, covering Office 365, the entire suite. Again, other data sources could be Box, Google Workspace, and Salesforce. Again, all those have the governance that you can add to it. It's not by default. If you don't feel that you need governance, you don't have to subscribe to it. Again, everything is being backed up out of Azure and over to AWS. And then we also have what we call Phoenix, and this is for the hybrid type workloads. And you can see here we're protecting 5 servers, 2 SQL servers, some VMware VMs, Hyper-V, a NAS, 2 NAS devices. And you can also organize your Phoenix workloads by organization. So if you had like a data center in California and one in New York, you can create individual environments for each one of those. So I'm part of this GTO. It's typically where all our jobs are run. So this is, again, if you want to protect an environment, this is the environment you go to. So it's protected Windows, Linux, Oracle, NAS, VMware, Hyper-V. You do things like download the agents right from here. So if you want to, protect a NAS server and you want it to download the proxy to be able to do that, you come in here, click on downloads, it'll take you to a download page. You could download it on site, configure that, register it with your subscription, and from there you can start protecting that workload. Same thing with VMware and so on. Again, reporting capability. You have the ability to schedule reports. They come out every day. I'm set up for 9 o'clock every day. Or again, I can subscribe to alerts, warnings, real time. So it's giving me real time alerts and warnings based off of the particular workload. Say I have a VMware workload that's critical and I want to make sure it's being backed up. And if it's not being backed up or if it fails, I want to be notified immediately. So that's what we call alerting. So again, full featured functionality, capabilities across the portfolio. Again, the SaaS workloads, Microsoft Office 365, Google Workspace, Salesforce are the 3 majors. Endpoints, iPhones, Androids, laptop, desktop, including Linux. You can add governance to all those workloads, so you can constantly monitoring, do things like legal hold. And then, again, reviewing hybrid workloads. That's what we call Phoenix. It's not something you have to subscribe to, but if you're interested in it, you can subscribe to Phoenix, and that's going to give you all the capabilities to protect those workloads that may be remote offices or places that are hard to get to, or the smaller workloads. So I'd like to turn it back over to you guys, and if there's any questions, we can answer those.
Yeah, we have a couple questions that have come in, gentlemen. And Gavin or Ken, however you want to handle those. First question is, do I need to pay for AWS storage and this service as well?
No. It's part of the subscription. So storage is part of, when you subscribe to PowerProtect Backup Service, you subscribe to a particular license or capacity. And so the storage is all included. You don't even need an AWS account.
Excellent. And then Ken, leading off of that, can you tell us how much does the service cost? That was another question that came in.
Yeah, I mean, that you need to look at, there's tiered pricing based off the amount of users, both for Phoenix as well as InSync. So that's something you would need to look at an individual basis, based off of the size of the environment and so on. But it is typically mailboxes, SaaS protection, let's say for Office 365, is user-based, right? But each user has 50 gig assigned. So it is kind of capacity-based. That 50 gig is spread across the users. So it's like, it's almost like T-Mobile where you share the minutes kind of thing. So, and then on the Phoenix side, it's licensed a little bit different. It's based off of used capacity. So that's deduplicated capacity. So after your data is backed up and deduplicated, you're being charged based off of the deduplicated capacity, not how much is being backed up, but if it deduplicates very well, you're going to be very efficient from a storage perspective. And again, it's all included in the licensing for PowerProtect Backup Service.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in real quick and just do a little addition.
Sure.
In addition to what Ken just said, it really varies on what you're trying to do and the number of users. The more users you add to an environment, the bigger discount you're going to get at the end of the day. So that's a really important amount of it. You know, you have 50 users or 200 users, the more and more, the higher the discounts go. Additionally, because it is a software subscription service, you basically can pay for 1 year upfront, 3 years upfront, 4 years upfront, or even up to 5 years upfront. And as you prepay for more and more, you're going to get deeper and deeper discounts. So the customer wants to start off, hey, let's just get this for 1 year and see how it goes. You pay for that upfront. Here's that 1 year. And then after that, you can just go into and say, oh, we really like the service. It's working out really well. Let's go and pay for 5 years upfront. You're going to get a deeper discount for doing that. Hey, Ken, by the way, you're still sharing your screen so everybody can see who you're talking to with Mr. Paul Mitchell over there. All good. Mindy, any more questions?
Yep, we have another one that came in here. If we need to back up Hyper-V, do we pay extra for Phoenix in order to back them up?
Yeah, so Phoenix is a module. So yes, Phoenix is a module that you would subscribe to within PowerProtect Backup Service.
So Ken, just to clarify, once you buy the Phoenix module, do you get the ability to protect anything that falls underneath that module as a result in the fee?
Right.
So you can back up Hyper-V, you can back up VMware, you can back up anything that falls underneath what we showed earlier, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Again, it's based off the compressed capacity.
And then Gavin, I think you mentioned this in the beginning, but is this service FedRAMP certified?
Yes, so just to be 100% clear on the FedRAMP certification of the solution, so everybody and end users on the customers can understand. The in-sync module, the one that's backing up the SaaS application and the one that's backing up the endpoints, those are FedRAMP certified solutions right now. The hybrid workloads one that we had talked about earlier, it does use and leverage the AWS GovCloud as the storage location. However, it is not FedRAMP certified at this time. So while it does use that site, I know that probably gives a lot of our customers some good feel goods about where it's being stored. We still have not finished the FedRAMP certification for the hybrid workloads piece. I know it can be a little confusing, but we're happy to talk to anybody on the side.
Perfect. And then back to the Hyper-V and Phoenix question. Another question that came through on here is, but without Phoenix, we aren't able to back up Hyper-V at all. Is that a correct statement?
That's correct. Phoenix is required for Hyper-V. Any hybrid workload, you need the Phoenix module.
That's correct.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions today? Gavin, Brad, Ken, any other statements?
I just want to say thank you for having us on. I know this is just a quick half hour that we can kind of show you what's capable with this new product. I think we're very excited from a Dell Technologies perspective. This is our first software as a service offering for the data protection team. Their team is very excited to get out and talk to customers about it and show them what it's capable of. We feel very strongly it's going to be a great solution for a number of customers. Looking at specifically the Microsoft 365 and the endpoint protection with this FedRAMP certification is something that no other software as a service offering out there for backup is available right now. No other competitor has it. So I think it's a very, a great offer. Looking forward to talking to more people about it.
Perfect. Thank you. And if there are any other further questions, feel free to email us at solutioncenter@sterling.com or connect@sterling.com. We want to thank you all for joining us today. We will have this recording out to everyone who attended, and it will also be available up on the Proven Performance page of Sterling's website, along with other demos we've done in the past. Thank you so much to the Dell team, Gavin, Brad, Ken, truly appreciate it. Everybody have a great rest of your day.